You know what, Mom? You know what you would say? Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
That's a funny saying. I love saying that.
That's such an Italian thing to say. To just
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
like,
That's what Nick Avocado says.
like
a lot, too.
Affandingula. What are you doing?
I kind of knocked it a little bit. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
From Mr. Broke Productions, and in association with Maximillionaire and Vice City Kingpin, present to you Life on Easy Mode. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
So you guys remember in the 60s how they never catch the Zodiac Killer? I guess he just flew off. He fled. Apparently, Well, I think he tried to do it again, but I don't think he got out of this one easily.
Yeah, I think he got caught this time.
Yeah, I think if I actually look up his message that he sent on why he did it, XEY_square. I think it's actually the entire
You got Elon
cipher.
Musk to decipher it.
Yeah. I think Elon Musk actually deciphered it. It actually says, "Suck my wiener. I am Ted Cruz. Fuck you. Fuck Texas. Stupid. Wish I was back in Texas."
Yes. Hi, how you doing?
Hello.
My name is Nick, and you're watching the Life on Easy Mode podcast, the #1 podcast
In
North
Providence.
In North Providence. Yeah, I don't think anyone else is doing it.
13,000.
I don't think anyone else is making the numbers we're making. Just built different.
5.
We got 7 likes last week. So yeah, welcome back, everyone. We got some stuff to talk about today, and then of course we are continuing with our movie bracket. Mm-hmm. Miguel, do you want to announce it now, or do you want to wait until after?
No, we have a little surprise after we finish the movie bracket.
Miguel is coming out as trans.
No.
Yo.
Congratulations. So what is your stage name gonna be now? Catalina?
Knives In.
Goes Knives In.
No, just a little surprise. Stay tuned. Something to look forward to. Everyone could do this too, technically.
Yeah.
So
you guys can play along just like you are with the movie bracket. So
yeah, So stay tuned.
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say.
Cool. Before we start, Gian, do you have any interesting dreams you wrote down this week, or anything?
No, but I had an idiot at Stop and Shop. I shouldn't say idiots, but
I just went shopping there. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, Nicky went in. That's your story.
So, anyways, I
knocked over a kid on the shelf.
This nice young black gentleman. He was actually really short. I was like, oh my goodness, Kevin Hart. But so he came in. He had to have been high because he walked in. I'm at the door counting people with the iPad. I'm at the table right where the sliding glass door is, and then he walks in with someone else. I don't know who it was, but this gentleman asked me, "Do you think NASCAR female drivers are racist?" And I go, and he goes, this has just been bothering me all day as he's throwing out trash. And I go, I don't know. And he goes, are there any female NASCAR drivers? And I go, listen, I don't watch NASCAR. And to clarify, I'm like, you're talking about NASCAR driving, like to make sure, he's not talking about anything else.
He's making a left turn sport.
No, he goes, no, yeah, NASCAR. And I go, I don't know. And he goes, it might be worth a Google maybe. I don't know. I'll see if I'll do that. And I go, okay, sir. And he goes, you have a nice day, dude. And I go, you too. And I go, that was the strangest conversation I've had in a while. These are questions that the world needs to know.
Many people will have conversations with friends about rather important things, what do you think our town is going to do regarding the water system or whatever. But no, this man is asking the more important questions. Are female NASCAR drivers racist, and do they even exist? Can women actually drive? That's what he was saying. So,
can woman actually drive?
I didn't say it. He asked it. I'm just, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just preaching for the choir. But
God.
I mean, there is Danica Patrick, right?
Who's that?
Never mind.
I know. I do think that there are female NASCAR drivers.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, no, I just don't know the names, but I know there are.
I don't even know the names of regular NASCAR drivers.
How am I whiter than you, but you know more NASCAR drivers than me?
Because she's like the first female to win something in NASCAR.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think she won something. She made headlines.
Well, that's good.
The only NASCAR drivers are drivers for a sport that I know are from the movie Ford versus Ferrari. That's the only people I know. I don't remember their names too, but that's okay.
Ford and Ferrari.
Well, obviously.
Actually, before we start, I actually had an interesting thing that happened to me. I think I told you. It happened to me on Friday when I went to do laundry. Did I tell you about that story?
Don't talk about that story.
Why?
It's
funny. It's interesting.
Yeah, I guess you can.
Okay,
I guess you can.
it was Friday morning, right? And before I went to work, I decided to do some laundry. So I'm at the laundromat. I'm getting out of the laundromat. I have my casket full of laundry. I just finished. I'm walking over to my car. I have my AirPods in, so I'm listening to my music. I can't hear anything around me. About 3 cars to the right of mine, there was a gentleman getting out of his car. And, I imagine he was going there to do laundry as well. So as I'm squatting down to start putting my laundry in the backseat of my car, this man, I look up and I see he's talking at me. I see. And I go, huh? And he goes, Tom Brady, he's going to go to hell because he doesn't really appreciate the meaning of God, and he's going to go to hell because all he cares about is rings. And because he saw that I had a Patriots sweater on. So, he starts preaching to this stuff about how Tom Brady's going to go to hell. I go, okay. He goes, and Gronk too, Gronk, I call him Stonk. He called the man Stonk. He goes, I call him Stonk. He's going to go to hell too because he doesn't appreciate God. God wants people like me and you to enter his kingdom. And I'm like, okay. He goes, you need Jesus too, my friend, just like Brady. I'm like, okay, have a good one, sir. I don't know what to do with this. And just, it was the weirdest experience I ever met. Now listen, as someone who does believe in God, I will say it's people like him as to the reason why some people get turned off by religion. Because you have people who are very preachy like him who force it down people's throats. I say just let people let them believe whatever the fuck they want. But this man was like, he's one of those people where like, if you watch porn, you're going to hell.
He might just be like a salty Patriots fan, bro. Because did he criticize anyone else, or was it just Tom Brady?
It was mainly Brady and Gronk. So he could just, but like, I don't think a normal Patriots fan will be that mad to the point where he thinks Tom Brady is going to spend eternity in hell with Satan.
There are some people, there are some characters.
Yeah, apparently a guy in Florida, my dad told me, like, he had like that feels like a giant cardboard cutout of Brady. He just started stabbing holes in it. Like, dog, it's not that serious. The man didn't, like, shoot up your family's building. Like, chill out. The man won a Super Bowl with a different team. And besides, it potentially may be Belichick's fault because he wasn't treating Brady right, but that's a whole other discussion. But, yeah, that's just what happened to me. I thought it was a pretty interesting story to talk about, rather something you wouldn't expect happening at the laundromat. And I will say, if he has the guts to come up to me, no problem, and just start saying that, God knows what he did when he walked into the fucking laundromat. He probably saw someone had like a freaking Tweety Bird thong. He's like, that's very sexual. You shouldn't sexualize children. You're going to hell.
You know what he tried to do? So he grabbed the Tide, the washer detergent, and instead of holy water, he just started sprinkling that everyone. He goes, peace to be with you, peace to be with you. He just
cleanse your soul.
He's out.
This is softener, by the way. Cleanse your soul.
And you know how they give out bread at communion? So instead he actually gave out Tide Pods. He goes, blessed be with you.
He gave out dryer sheets.
Amen.
He's giving out those crackers at the laundromat.
Yo.
He's like, yeah, have one. He's like, yo, can I get some money?
Back in the day, like a few years ago, I saw those at Stop and Shop. They have like a big case of them, like on the shelves. I remember seeing them when I was a kid. I was like, oh, so that's where they get them from. So I don't know if they're there anymore. I'm pretty sure they're not. I have not seen them in forever. But
yeah.
But speaking of religion and laundromats, so we landed on Mars.
Yeah, we did.
Had two definitely like similar things right there.
Obviously,
a NASA Perseverance rover landed on Mars on the Jezero crater on February 18th, which was that Friday?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes, it was Friday.
19th?
No,
18th. It's Thursday. So it was Thursday, February 18th.
Today's
nearly
Sunday.
7 months after it initially took off. And I remember that was in like the summer where we heard that like the thing was going up into space. I do remember that now. And so the Perseverance is to become the 5th NASA rover to ever touch down on Mars after the Sojourner, Twin Rover Spirit and Opportunity, and Curiosity. These are the names of the rovers. Perseverance will spend the coming years scoring for signs of ancient microbial life in a historic mission that will bring back samples from Mars to Earth and prepare the way for future human visitors. Elon Musk is right now rubbing his hands like, oh, fuck yeah! And I'll put an image on the screen, but this is actually the first image they took with the Perseverance.
So I have
Which
some.
is pretty cool. I mean, it looks like
Also, if you're looking,
very cool, but I have some criticism real quick. How are you gonna send a NASA Mars like rover and take the picture in black and white?
I mean,
like
maybe there isn't color in space.
because there isn't color in space. It's because I think that
it could just be a 1940s movie for all we know.
Also, if you're listening to this, just imagine it.
Just imagine a cookie.
But no, it's like also people saying like, I hate it when people, like, you can have your own theories if you want. I hate it. Not hate it, but, like, when people say, oh, we didn't really land on the moon and stuff like that. And one of the things was, like, because you can't, when they recorded the videos, you can't see the stars. And I go, Okay, so you have to think back in the 1960s. They didn't have very good. I mean, I watched a documentary on Hulu called Apollo 11. They had everything in clear HD, like revisited, and then I'm like, you still can't see the freaking stars because the video image back then still you wouldn't be able to pick it up.
I can explain this. So 1960s, right? So I'm a photography student and we use film a lot. If you want to get the stars alone, you have to photograph. You have to keep like the shutter open, keep the camera open for like minutes.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're gonna set up I mean, they could, but I don't think that was their main like priority.
Yeah, I mean,
so yeah, you don't see stars, but it's for a reason because you'd have to set it up there for like a good amount of like time.
yeah. And also,
So-
like, so going back to like why they use black and white is probably because they're not gonna put the greatest video camera on there. I mean, sure, it's clear vision, but like, it's not gonna be like 1080p 4K 60 FPS running. They literally put a robot. They more focused on what the robot is gonna be running on than the video camera because they were
Yeah.
probably like not last minute, like the last thing they were thinking was like, all right, let's just put like a GoPro on there or something like that. But they also have to continue, think about like what Mars' atmosphere is because we still don't even. Well, I mean, I think we know, but like it's not like indefinite what Mars' atmosphere is. So like maybe they have to like think about like, could it make the camera image staticky? Could something in the atmosphere make it different?
But here's the thing: the other Mars rover doesn't have any problems with recording or anything or taking pictures.
Is that in black and white or is that color?
That's color.
Well, then they probably just at this point they were probably like. They more focus on the higher advance of the robot.
Well,
So
who knows?
I imagine they probably that could have just been like the one they released. They probably released more. I guess that they probably could have. I could look it up right now. They probably took more photos.
it's cool. And I think we'll be able to get to Mars by the year 2035. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll be colonized by 2040, something like that.
I think
40.
the moon first before Mars.
I mean, yeah, I guess we could have a little country club on the moon.
Bro, I can't wait to go space tourism. How cool would that be?
The
like
Applebee's on the moon.
Applebee's.
Yo.
Oh, from fucking.
Do you think there'll be like a moon
Astra?
tax or something?
A moon tax.
tags?
I mean, knowing like, oh, okay, if you want to travel out of space light years away from your home planet, all right, there's gonna be a $6,000 tax if you want to get a thing of AirPods for $180.
Moon Uber.
Yeah, literally, Uber to the moon.
Uber to the moon. I think one thing I love more than not more than acting, but like second to like film is just space. I just love like movies about space. I just love it. Like it's so cool. Like it's just the coolest thing ever.
Yeah,
So,
because like there's no limit.
it literally.
We
As
have
far
an,
as we
we
know.
have an idea that like the biggest thing ever is the universe, but who's to say there's not something
Infinite.
outside of the
I mean,
universe?
that's-
Like
yeah.
there could just be maybe dark matter. There could be an
So,
alternate universes. Who knows?
Speaking about space movies, I think the most uncomfortable movie that I've seen about space is Ad Astra.
Not Interstellar.
Huh? No, because like Ad Astra has like that like uncomfortable silence in like. during- No, Interstellar does not have like that type of silence.
Oh, it
Is
has
that a
a.
movie that came out a few years ago.
Yeah,
Ad
we-
Astra, because
Ad Astra.
what the hell's it called?
Ad ass. Yes.
Wait, what's
Ad Astra.
Ad Astra? Okay, yeah. I want to say Ad Ass.
Ad ass. That ass.
Yeah.
It was a good movie. But
Oh,
it
good
was,
movie, but like it is the uncomfortable sense because that's in reality it's just silence.
Silence, yeah.
It's
That's like the scariest thing too, is silence. Just when there's nothing.
like in the in one of the movies we'll talk about today is Interstellar. Like some scenes are in silence, especially we'll
But-
get to it later, but
not
like
Ad Astra.
that's just my I think it's more uncomfortable in Interstellar, but that's just my personal
No.
opinion. But
One leap for science, one giant leap for meme kind.
yes,
Well, one thing before we move on from the Mars rover, for those that don't know, they actually landed on what used to be like a lake
Oh yeah, that's
yes.
right.
on
Yeah.
Mars.
Yes.
So I think obviously that's their best bet to find like underground like microbes because that's what they're looking for. They're not looking for like sentient beings or anything. They're looking for like organisms and like stuff like that. So
I think that whatever organisms, because they have found ice pockets and water pockets. I don't think, as much as I would love, they would have to really dig deep into the planet, like to find something. Because if you think about it, or like wherever these ice little pots are, or whatever, like they would need to look for those. I mean, if there are anything, it's going to be tiny cell organisms. But I'm not a astronomer. I'm not an astronomer. I'm not a scientist
Physicist.
and physicist or whatever in space. So I don't know exactly, but I mean, it could happen. So
Actually, before we move on, I had a professor at CCRI. I had an astronomy class, and First day, he walks in, he goes,
Oh,
"Good
boy.
morning, class. This is astronomy 101, not astrology. That's not real." Man just absolutely came after the life of astrology. I was like, okay, you know what? This class may not be too bad. I was wrong. It was complete utter shit. But I was like, okay, you know what? I respect that, man.
Can I say something? So astrology, you can believe whatever you want. You can believe if you're part of your sign, you're part of your zodiac, or whatever. I just don't.
Sorry, my leg cramping up
I
a
thought
little.
you were just like us.
Sorry, my leg.
It's like Gollum's.
Yeah.
So like, but like, I don't necessarily believe in astrology. I mean, it's cool, kind of, if you want to like, think about that. But I don't believe in it as, because apparently my sign for one part says I'm very good with one of your cancers, and that's not true.
I just hate when they'll do like insert very bad thing here, and they'll be like, "Oh, sorry, I'm such a Virgo," shit like that. Like,
Sorry,
don't
sorry.
associate with them. They're a Pisces.
Sorry, it's my Aries.
Yeah, literally.
I saw this thing a few days ago that said astrology is just racism for girls.
It is.
Oh,
It really
my
is.
God. I'm sorry.
You're everything I wanted, man. You're 6'2". You're absolutely built. You got a career. You got a house, a nice car. But you're an Aries. I can't date you. I'm sorry.
Hi, what would you like to order from Chili's? I would like the little bite burgers, and you, ma'am. Well, I can't have this because I'm an Aries, and I can't have this and that. What is the shrimp scampi or shrimp scampi? No, I don't think I can have that.
Give me a White Claw.
The White Claw. Oh my goodness. We're not making. We're not making
No, we're
fun of
making
any
fun.
girls,
We're making fun.
but
Deal with it. We're making fun of astrology.
Honestly, and in my honest opinion, like it could, but like.
Honestly, some things.
Some things for me are correct.
Yeah, same thing. But I think that's just
So-
like an overall of every single person.
I think it's just like a general explanation that could apply to everyone, though.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, like
it's cool.
Well,
Like it's alright.
there's
I just don't
you may criticize it, but there's no point in not believing it. Well, I shouldn't say
Just
that.
let people do whatever the hell they
Yeah,
want.
exactly. Thank
whatever.
you. That's what I meant to say.
I just
Believe
think it's
whatever
stupid
God,
sometimes.
believe whatever color you want. I mean, it just doesn't really matter what. Plant whatever flower. I don't know. Just
Yeah. Don't be like that man at the laundromat.
don't be an asshole. That's
Yeah.
what we
You
have.
think he believes in astrology?
Bro, he probably would.
He's
bitch off a woman if he saw
definitely
someone with astrology.
He's definitely a Capricorn.
It's the Leo in him. Okay.
That's enough astrology slander for
So
today.
do you think Ted Cruz is a Capricorn for what he did afterwards?
I don't even know what his sign is. I don't even know what his birthday is.
Right, he really just said, it's the dad. in
He's
me."
a zodiac killer. What are you talking about?
Oh my!
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
he
you're
has
right.
He has every single kind of sign. He
Bro,
really
he's
said.
all of them.
He really said.
He created astrology.
He really said this. We went on vacation, because I'm a dad. This basically
My
this,
ass, bro.
this short summary.
I'm sorry. The funny thing is, he said he'll believe in climate change when Texas freezes over.
Yeah, he said that in
It
2016.
did, and you know what he does? He leaves.
He's like,
Like, bro, come on.
Now people
bro.
are saying like he's not like he's like it's his home state, so it's not like he's the governor of it. Like people are saying like you guys are going too hard on him, but at the same time, at the same point when his home state is in a catastrophic thing, because Texas didn't prepare for it because as a lot of
Oh no.
Well,
okay,
it's-
First, we should probably explain what's going on with Texas.
Okay, yeah, so-
Cruz. So
you want?
go.
I'll take this.
Go.
I'll take this.
Okay, all right.
So basically, a winter storm happened to go over Texas, and it's not that they weren't prepared; it's that they don't usually have this happen. So because of that, they were severely underprepared. But you can't blame Texas for this.
No,
No.
It is not their fault that out of like so many years of like warm weather or at least like decent weather during the winter, they finally get a winter storm. So this isn't Texas' fault. It is their fault, however, for capitalizing on electricity.
Because they have their own
Yeah.
electricity power grid, right?
Yeah.
It's called one of the company, or if the main company is called Griddy, like electrical grid or something like that. And so I think that's why like their like rental properties or like their like rent is like so low, because you have to pay like extra, like not extra, like separate
For utilities.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know
Well, you
that.
kind of do that anyways.
Yeah, but yeah.
In Texas, it's like a special, like a different thing because it's not National Grid. It's a
Right.
private company that controls, and like they're billing people like $5,000 a day. So
Jesus.
Yeah, I saw a video of a guy where this was like when the first winter storm just started to happen, where like his walls and like what's that pink stuff in the walls called? Like it looks like cotton candy.
I know what it is. I literally told you about it the other day. It's
I forget too.
I literally yesterday we were literally talking about
Yeah,
it.
I forgot the name.
drywall.
No, not the
No,
drywall.
no. Oh,
Look it up.
I call it cotton candy.
Yeah,
because
it's
I
a
should
cotton
know.
candy in the wall.
it's freaking
I know the name too. We're idiots. I can't
bro.
fucking think
No,
of the
no
name.
one's hiring us to model their house.
Glass,
Fiber,
insulation.
fiberglass.
Insulation. That's what it is. Insulation. So the insulation from this guy's walls and the walls himself was just coming apart with like since the snow was getting in the house, it was very wet, like there was like leaks all over his house. And people are saying, well, I can see now why that the rent is cheap, because the houses just aren't prepared for harsh cold weather. You know, it's so used to the warm hot weather. And you know, again, that's not necessarily
You can't blame them.
No, I'm not blaming anything. And millions of people because of the storm have lost power. Over a dozen have died apparently throughout this, whether if it's through home wreckage or just whatever. It's a very scary situation.
Well, this is where my criticism for Ted Cruz comes in, because instead of helping out because he was elected to help the people, not leave.
And it's
to
also his
Cancun.
home state. It's his
Exactly.
home state. He was born in that.
So how, like, I know like oh, what do you expect a senator to do? Make calls. Well, obviously you can make phone calls from Cancun, but like he's got to do something else than just leave. He's got to be there. You know, at least to some extent. I can kind of understand why people would defend him, because like, oh, he's taking a break, he's taking a vacation. But how do you expect help from someone you elected to help you? You know?
Right. I mean, no, he's a dad, all right. He's one of those dads that goes to the grocery store to get milk and then just never comes back when you need him most. He's one of those kind of dads.
Yeah, he went to a grocery store in Cancun.
Yeah, literally. He's like, oh, sorry, I came back to get milk. What the fuck happened here? He's one of those.
It's kind of surprising because like you can tell that like they are not snow people, because a average was only 6 to 7 inches of snow. But at the same time, I'm reading this. It's from ABC13.com. So I don't know if this is 100% accurate, but like there was around like 70 deaths from the snow. So people, a lot of like, it's literally like freeze
from hypothermia.
Yeah, freeze to death in their homes because their homes had no heat and stuff like that. So it was, and this included like I saw this on like what was it, Facebook, like the 11-year-old boy who sadly like died from hypothermia and not heat. I really don't think, at the same time, they weren't prepared, yes, but obviously because they're more focused on like the little electricity little spiel thing. And when you think of Texas, you don't think of snow, the freezing temperatures.
You think of hot weather,
you don't
the
think of
cities
Florida
in the
like
desert.
that. And especially, I mean, towards the south of Texas, I mean, I guess because it's more towards the equator, it's not as bad, but like still, like you don't, Texas, I mean, like I know it snows in Texas, not like like every like winter, but like every rare occasion it would a snowfall. Like in Florida, I remember like a few years ago, I think there was like a few snowfalls, but that was like upper Florida. But like so like warmer places obviously don't get a lot of snow. So you think about Texas and you're like, oh wait, no, don't worry about it, we'll be fine. And then Ted Cruz, Zodiac decided, I'm just gonna take a vacation with my kids.
I just think it was a mistake for him to go.
Couldn't have been worse.
He could have went after or way before, but literally it
I
was
would've said way after.
the couple days after it hit, and he was like, nope, we're going to, where was he going? Mexico? He was going to
Cancun.
Mexico. Oh, Cancun?
Cancun, Mexico.
Okay, yeah. So he was like, all right, kid, we're going to Mexico. Oh, grab the sombreros. Like literally, that's what he freaking said. Get up to the maracas. All right, kids, come on.
Yeah.
It's come on. I'm trying to save our marriage. Come on, let's go. Like seriously, like he literally left and like
personally, I'd be pissed if because there was another. Did you guys hear about that mayor that resigned after his Facebook post?
Oh yeah, he
What
said.
was the Facebook post?
What did he say?
So basically, he said the government owes you nothing. Learn how to survive.
Oh yeah, only the strong will survive. Yeah,
and then
so
something like that. So like, if
That's-
that was my mayor,
fun.
I'd be pissed, bro. Because like, how do you expect me to survive in a place that like that isn't built for snow? And then they're just leaving you to like. At that point, someone has to step in.
Well,
yeah.
it has gotten better. As of right now, I'm looking at the weather for Houston, Texas.
Yeah,
it's cloudy and it's 70, so like the storm
Yeah.
thankfully has blown over. And this wasn't just
But
in Texas. This was
people-
like a good part of the mid-south, Midwest.
But it's
type
yeah,
of
but we're
area.
talking like Texas with its
Yeah, Texas was
electrics,
at the
like,
worst. Like primarily like middle Texas with like Houston, Dallas,
Because
like
of
that
the-
like
yeah.
center area, because like millions of people had lost power. A guy who I watched, on live, he said he was one of the only people in his area that somehow still had power. He
And
said like,
he's probably getting charged like $5,000.
yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah,
So
like, because of like like you said, their little electricity stunt. We're like, all right, we're gonna just pump up the gas prices there. The gas prices, but like the
Electricity.
electricity prices. But
personally, I think this would be a wake up call for Texas. I think now
it's a wake up call for anyone.
Yeah, I think now they'll have more of like a proactive approach to harsh weather, cold weather, because, you know, they figured, like you said, oh, it's the snow. We never get much snow. We don't have to worry about it. We'll be fine. This is a hot state. And then, you know, lo and behold, millions of people are without power. I think now they'll have more of a proactive approach to saying, okay, what do we need to do now to, in case this ever happens again, what we can do is like a backup plan. Like, for example, with Rhode Island, knock on wood, we never get many hurricanes, but we have a plan. We have preparation for it in case we do, because it has happened in the past before. You know, we have had that situation at one point in history where we probably didn't think of it as a big deal. Lo and behold, all this shit happens. Now we have a proactive plan because, you know, we get snow, we get windy, we get harsh weather sometimes, both hot, both cold, but, you know, rarely do we ever get like part of a hurricane, and we rarely ever get tornadoes, and we've never gotten I don't think we've ever had an earth.
Yes, we have.
Oh yeah, we had one like.
Well, it wasn't us that had the earthquake. It was Massachusetts.
It was offshore.
Offshore, but we had like we felt like the.
No, it was Massachusetts.
It was off the coast of Massachusetts.
Yeah, we felt like the shake of it.
Yeah, like literally, I was at Stop and Shop, and I go, I
literally woke up and like, are we? I thought it was construction outside for first. Like at first, like, what are they doing out there? And I'm like, I go on Twitter like 5 minutes later, like, we had an earthquake.
Yeah. So like I was working, Kenny, I was like talking to our friend Kenny who was at self checkout, and we just both see the wall just start to shake, and I go, is they doing construction outside or something like that?
Good. Are they adding a new part of the building?
But like,
is there a massage lounge in there?
I never thought we'd experience an earthquake. That's one.
And then a few years ago, we had a mini tornado in
Springfield.
Yeah, and then there was one in Lincoln.
Oh, was there?
A few years ago. It was very tiny. I think like a tree got knocked over, but it was minuscule. I remember
I was coming home from school from CCRI, and like it was the winds and the trees were. I think it was mostly windy. I don't know where exactly the tornado, if you want to call it a tornado. Like basically, it's literally a what's the I can't think of it. The word for a lower class hurricane. What is it called?
Tropical depression.
Storm.
Tropical, like it's a tropical storm of a tornado, basically. Like it's a very low tornado, but it's still very windy.
A mini tornado. Yeah. Ryan, who knows a lot about weather, he said basically it could have been classified as a tornado because of how it came about and shit, but it was very, very minuscule. No one died. It was more northern Rhode Island.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. That was like, I think 2 years ago.
2018.
The only tornado I remember around here was the one in Springfield or Mass or around there.
Yeah. So thankfully we never have scary things like that happen to us, but we do have preparations for it. So I guess that's one good thing to say about Rhode Island.
I feel like we have good preparations though, because we survive winter storms. Like our houses are built to withstand snow and stuff.
Yeah,
like
after
that.
them.
And like
Texas isn't.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
What they need to do is like now, like just like us, as soon as we find out that Snowstorm is going to be coming, they have the freaking trucks with the plows ready to go, and they do a very good job with like highways, main roads. Can't say the same about side streets, but
and our electrical grids not going out of proportion.
Right.
So
I mean, yes, people still will lose power, but like it's not like
only if their power lines are like cut though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but still. But I mean, it's not like, you know, like where I think after the blizzard of 70, which Carla, my mom, was alive for, and she would tell me that, you know, that basically 3 feet of snow in the 1978, they didn't have the technology to. I mean, they knew a storm was coming. They started like, oh, it's going to start soon, guys. Like a few hours from now, people were stuck on the highways, like 3 feet of snow. My mom would tell me.
My dad told me about that too.
My mom would tell me, like, she would open up the door and literally just the wall of snow. And I go,
Yeah, my dad said, like, when it was all done, you couldn't see, like, above it. You actually had to, like, push it all to the side and, like, make your way out of your house.
I think that after that, a lot of people just snow. Like, New England, whereas, especially Rhode Island, was like, all right, double prepare. We need to make sure that they're prepared for this. And I mean, like, we don't get, like,
we don't get snow like that anymore, though.
Very rarely do we get a lot of snow.
There was a few years ago where we did get almost 2 feet of snow.
I think it was 2014. I remember that was
something.
Freshman year of high school for us. I remember we got a lot of snow that
21
year.
inches of snow. I remember getting or measuring.
Yeah.
But like we do like get, I guess, some hurricanes. I mean, like I think the highest we've ever gone for my lifetime is maybe like a number 2 hurricane. We mostly get tropical storms from what comes up from what we come up.
Oh, watch out, Miami man's over here.
Oh my God!
Yeah, you got some war stories, don't you, old timer?
Oh yeah. Please tell us, how was the war?
Yeah, the war against hurricanes.
How was the war of Hurricane Harana?
So basically, to prepare apartments, you have like these special like metal plates that you have to like screw in to protect your windows, because they might break. But now the glass is fine. You don't have to protect anything. They're made to withstand hurricane, so you don't have to do that anymore. Or if you want, if you're like a little bit like rich, you have like these like panels that you could just close and open whenever a hurricane comes.
And are they like metal too? Those panels?
Yeah,
or?
they're metal too. So like metal panels that just like how do I explain it? Like a
Like,
closet door kind
have
of.
you seen
Okay,
the
so-
movie The Purge when they start to go on lockdown?
Yes.
The metal things just close
Yes.
on the
Yeah,
house.
Okay.
so they have those now, but whenever a hurricane comes, you don't not anymore. You don't have to put the metal plates on.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
A snowstorm, I don't think they're prepared for that.
Well, I mean, just like Texas, Florida doesn't get a
Yeah,
lot of snow.
I don't think whatsoever they're prepared for a snowstorm.
Has Florida ever even like not ever, but
Not
like
in my lifetime. Not that I know
I don't
of.
think they've got. If anything, I've never heard of it, but like maybe one time ago they did.
They've been getting chilly weather lately. It's been like in like the low 60s, mid 50s, something like that. It's been sweater weather, but that's really all they get.
That's
Yeah.
normal, yeah.
That's really all they get.
Yeah.
And then it goes right back to 90 like 2 weeks later.
Starting in March, he'll be like, "Oh, guys, it's summer."
Yeah, beach time.
I do know. Recently, like a few years ago, they did get like a mini flood, but it wasn't like destroy houses. It's just like the highway was like covered in water. And
Floods we're not prepared for in Rhode Island because that like screws up our roads. That's why we have so many potholes. Like just if we get heavy rain, not if we're not prepared, but like heavy rain. Obviously, we have sewers, we have grates, we have all that, but I don't like even from those we still get so many like the roads are destroyed like utterly and like as a Rhode Islander, I'm pissed off when I just drive no matter what part of the line I go. Oh,
Yeah,
son of
a lot of
bitch.
our roads are not flat. Not even just because of potholes, because sometimes they'll just have like these declines for some
Yeah.
reason, and then the rain just piles up.
It's
Next thing
it's
you know,
ridiculous.
It's like you're driving through a pool.
And then
It's
when you cross
ridiculous.
over to like Connecticut or Massachusetts, it's just a smooth ride. And you go, oh yes.
Yeah, literally. It's like
Oh my goodness,
I
like-
drive out of work every day to Massachusetts for work, and as soon as you cross the borderline,
It's
there's
so
like a
nice. Oh, it's
huge
like, oh
difference.
my
It's
goodness.
like boom.
I mean,
It's
sure,
like
it's-
that's literally what it's like.
But no, like I think I would say like at least every year we at least get some sort of tropical storm. At least
we didn't get one last year.
I feel like we got something.
Winds.
Yeah.
Well, every year there's basically a hurricane. Like if you want to really think about it, and whatever.
Not in Rhode Island though.
Well, no. So like because I mean like if anything we don't start the hurricanes. If anything, you start off the coast near Florida or the Gulf, and then they work their way up. And whatever it is, like even if it stops being a tropical storm near the coast of like Virginia, we'll still get those winds no matter what.
We'll get rain.
We'll get rain. We'll get winds. And I think we actually got a high of a Category 2. I don't think we've ever gone higher than that. Maybe we have, but
I remember in 2009 we got like the tail end of I think it was called Hurricane Bill, and I remember if you went near the ocean, the tide was like coming in and it was huge, and there was practically like borderline like no sand. You know, it was all covered by water, and like you could find a lot of like cool stuff. Like I remember there were people actually in the water looking for stuff that got swept up to shore, whether if it was like pieces of equipment or like buckets or whatever. It was pretty cool. I mean, my mom went. I found like some toys for like building sandcastles and stuff, and like a shovel. It was pretty cool, and that was back in 2009. And now I think that was, for my lifetime in the 20 years I've been alive, that's like the hardest.
When was that?
2009, I believe.
Do you know like what month?
Well, it was in the summer.
The
Well, I
summer?
think it was the tail end of summer, like August, because that's usually when we
I
would
have
get
the
like,
hurricanes right here.
the hurricane.
I think I remember that hurricane.
So
Really?
so
Yeah, because I got because like we don't close school for shit.
No.
So like if we close school, it's because like we usually like it was only during the beginning of August or like maybe September because that was hurricane season for us. So I think I remember that because I think it either hit us for like a day or it missed us.
So
Or
a
something
lot
like
of
that.
a lot of hurricanes that we get, quote unquote hurricanes, are officially tropical storms because the only times that we've only got 2 hurricanes in our lifetimes. It was in 2011,
Our
2012.
lifetimes.
What?
Yeah, our lifetimes. Miami man over here. Watch
I know,
out.
I know. So like the in 2011 was Hurricane Irene, and then 2012 was Hurricane Sandy. Those were both Category 1s.
Oh, okay.
And then like I mean, Hurricane Irene was basically a kind of like a tropical storm. It basically swooled down, but like everything else.
We got like some floods, but like not.
But most of the stuff is basically a tropical storm based.
Right.
And I think like it says like the highest we ever got was a Category.
And with Hurricane Bill, we didn't actually get it. We just got like the tail end of it. We got like a lot of rain and
Yeah,
some wind.
I think
so-
the highest we got was a Category 3, but that was in
Was
1954.
was that the worst hurricane you've ever experienced?
I mean, Hurricane Sandy. I remember there was a lot of talk about that.
Yeah, that was pretty big
So
for us.
I guess for us, that was probably the biggest one for
Well,
me.
I actually have some criticism about Ted Cruz over Hurricane Sandy too.
Oh boy, here we go.
Because he actually denied relief for New Jersey
Really?
when Hurricane Sandy hit, and now he's asking for relief for Texas when this hit.
Bro.
So it's kind of like a hypocrite like situation. Like how could you reject aid for another state, and then here you are asking for aid
He
yourself?
just cruising down to Cancun and not worrying about his
You know,
job.
I just love the way that you just named hurricanes. Like I know how they do it. I think they
In
do
alphabetical order.
every other it's a female or a male every other hurricane. But like I just want to, if I'm ever a part of that, if in an alternate universe, I just want to spin a wheel, just pick out of a hat.
The day there's
We
a
got
Hurricane
Dave.
Gian is
We
the
already
day I
had a
leave
Dave. Damn,
the
all right.
country.
Hurricane Gian.
Or if like a Hurricane Cameron brought him out.
Hurricane Nicky.
Oh, forget it, bro.
Hide your kids.
Country's over, bro. That's it. That's the end of the world.
Oh my God.
It's gonna look like Arkham. It's gonna look like Gotham City and at the end of Gotham.
Hurricane Miguel is about to wreck the entire West Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has experience too, so he knows what to do. Yeah, he's like, all right, we take out that school, we flood that street, we knock out these buildings.
Don't even put the panels up.
Yeah, just leave.
Yeah,
him, leave him.
just
Save him.
Stay out in
Save
the
him.
open.
Save him for whoever finds your body.
Break them, and then I'll break them. Then you put them on.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, I guess on a more lighter, well, not necessarily.
But speaking of
Lighter.
horrible storms that sweep across the nation, people really don't like PewDiePie now.
Oh yeah, that's right. PewDiePie, Hurricane PewDiePie is taking over YouTube, and people are trying to.
No, Hurricane Coco.
Hurricane
Coco Melon.
Oh, Hurricane Coco. Ooh, okay, I like that name. So yeah, basically what happened was PewDiePie uploaded a diss track to the YouTube channel, the Nursery Rhymes for Kids channel, Coco Melon, which right now it is at. I'll look at it right now.
I kind of want to, because I've heard of them, but I never really looked at their channel because I'm not 5.
Yeah, obviously.
Hey.
Right now they are at. Okay, I was way off when I really thought they're at 105 million subscribers, so they're catching up behind PewDiePie.
Wow, that was cool. Well,
very
see, that's the thing.
fast.
Like I see PewDiePie as the #1 independent subscriber. Yeah, he has editors, but he is not a corporation like these other people.
Like T-Series,
And
and Coco Melon's like their own company.
and like T-Series was basically giving people free Wi-Fi,
Is
so that's
Coco
why.
Melon on like YouTube Kids or like
Yeah,
regular?
YouTube
No, it's
Kids.
You can search
Okay,
it.
so
Well, I mean, it's not. Well, it's stuff that's on YouTube Kids. You can still find on YouTube because like if you go into a video, if like you click on it and it says there's no comments, and then it'll say this is for kids. That could be on YouTube Kids as well.
Oh yeah, 105 subscribers. I mean million. Sorry.
I was about to say, damn, I had more subs than them. But yeah, so if people remember, about 2 years ago, T-Series was catching up behind PewDiePie. Right now, they are the Indian-based YouTube channel that puts like own like.
Good times, good
Good-
times.
Like old,
They
like
kinda
their own
cheated,
independent
though, but
movies.
I'm not-
Oh yeah, no,
I'm not
that's a
gonna
whole
get
other
into it.
discussion. But they definitely cheated. And so when that happened, PewDiePie released a diss track on them called "Bitch Lasagna," and that was like that's his biggest video, and that was absolutely a banger. And then when they surpassed him, he made another diss track on him saying "Congratulations" as kind of like a joke. And then like the whole war, subscribe to PewDiePie meme happened. PewDiePie versus T-Series. It was an actual like internet war. It was kind of for fun.
I missed those
Obviously,
times.
it kind of ended when the whole Christchurch thing happened. When the shooter, before shooting up the place, said, "Remember, lads, subscribe to PewDiePie." That's when PewDiePie, when that happened, he made a video saying that he's ending the whole PewDiePie versus T-Series thing. It went on for a little afterwards after that, and then eventually T-Series surpassed him. But now we have a new competitor against PewDiePie called Coco Melon. And for those who don't know, Coco Melon, they are a nursery rhyme for kids YouTube channel. They make like these animations.
Johnny.
Yes, Papa. That was like 2 years ago. That was a huge meme. So, yeah.
How many subscribers does PewDiePie at now?
109 million.
So they're 4 million away.
4 million away. And now to a channel like us, that's a fuck ton. Like 4 million we could live off of, but like to them, that's like baby numbers.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me.
Oh
Sorry.
my goodness, are you okay? Holy Christ.
Sorry about that. Just got some phlegm, talking about all this shit. So PewDiePie released a diss track on his channel called Coco, and in it, he dresses up kind of like a Mr. Rogers with like the typical sweater and then the shirt and tie. And in it, he has children in it, and it's a diss track to Coco Melon. And in the video, he is swearing in front of the kids. And then in the video, the song itself, you can hear kids swearing because at one point they do like a chant together, and there's the words fuck and shit in it. So yeah, so that happened. And obviously, naturally, that caused a lot of spark and a lot of controversy on the internet because people were like, oh my God, PewDiePie swearing in front of kids. Well, actually, what happened was the video got taken down for because it violated two policies. One, now this is according to Team YouTube on Twitter, child safety by looking like it was made for kids but containing inappropriate content. Two, harassment. We allow criticism and also diss tracks in some cases, but with both policies in mind, this video crossed the line. He's harassing a big major company that makes stuff for children, even though at the end of the video he said, "I'm just kidding, Cocomelon. I love you guys." Mwah.
You can't blame him for the first part though.
Not really.
Yeah, yes.
No, because it basically because if that's the case, then why is bitch lasagna and congratulations?
Well, no, the first one is child safety.
I'm talking about the other one. I'm sorry.
No, first one's child safety by looking like it was made for kids but containing
I can
inappropriate.
understand that.
Yeah, but you
But-
have to. YouTube has known about PewDiePie. They know what.
and
Well, I
they
mean,
don't like PewDiePie.
It's not that they don't like him. They just don't want to really associate with him a lot because everyone it's 109 million people subscribed. The entire YouTube community knows for 100% of the fact that PewDiePie is not meant for children. Like children that watch learning stuff. 100%. Everyone knows it. If you hear a PewDiePie, if you watch YouTube, you hear a PewDiePie, go, no, that's definitely for like teenagers and older kids. Like it's definitely for that. It's not for kids about learning. So them saying that is basically saying, oh well, PewDiePie, is totally for everyone. That's basically what they're saying. Like it's like, what was the thumbnail? Do we remember? I sadly didn't see the video.
It was him with a few kids around him, I think.
Yeah, it was something like that. So, I mean,
It was definitely misleading.
Okay, it was misleading, but like you're talking
A little bit.
Okay,
not-
but then when
I
you,
guess at that point, what you could have done, you could have just made it age. You could have just restricted it, like made it age.
Aren't you
18.
supposed to do that
It-
anyways?
it-
for all
yeah,
the videos?
his videos are already. It doesn't matter. Like if you,
Oh, are they really?
if you probably sign out of YouTube, it'll probably ask you if you're 18 or older.
I didn't know that.
100%
I
yes.
didn't know that. Wow.
Like after his dispute, like his long dispute with like YouTube, he definitely had to have done that. So, but like it's
Oh, so then never mind.
Yeah, I was about
yeah,
to say
like
that.
he definitely would have had to. Like he definitely. I mean, I think he doesn't do swearing a lot as much. I mean, I don't watch him as much as I used to, especially with T-Series and stuff like that. I still watch his videos, but like, it's definitely. I think he's toned it down a little bit, but not like catastrophically toned it
Plus,
down.
you're more of a Markiplier guy.
Yeah.
I mean, because you do watch
Yeah.
Markiplier a decent amount.
Okay.
I like Markiplier.
And
I love him.
okay, you could say the same thing about not the same thing about Markiplier, but like it's about YouTubers, like the thumbnail, on leading the thumbnail. Let's say like you made a because I know so many people do this, especially the YouTubers that piss me off. And we're talking, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. We're talking about, being straight for kids, right?
Yeah. Oh.
So, 3 a.m. calls,
Oh,
like
yeah,
those
oh.
kind of videos, like
Don't call Freddy Fazbear at 3 a.m. Look what happened.
and those I hate those YouTubers because
what's his name?
And
no,
NA
there's
Productions.
so many people that do that, especially him though. Like the first 5 minutes is about his intro. Like guys, if you subscribe now, you will get a $25 gift card at the end of the video. Which he
Which, by
never
the
did.
way, is
Never
not
did.
only wrong, but it's illegal.
It's illegal for
Yeah.
kids. For kids, unless he's the greatest actor of all freaking time, which he isn't. Those videos are made definitely for a little bit of a younger videos because he knows that it tricks them, or he just does it as a joke now, which I guess I would give you a bravo, but I'm not going to. So
I mean, yeah.
YouTube knows PewDiePie is not for kids. So basically, them saying that, like, if you go on a YouTube PewDiePie video, you automatically know it's not for kids.
Yeah.
So he wasn't. Cocomelon is, if you look at on YouTube Kids, it's on YouTube Kids, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, and if you look on YouTube for PewDiePie and YouTube Kids, that does not come up, obviously.
Yeah.
If your kid is on regular YouTube looking up Cocomelon and perhaps PewDiePie's video come up, okay, I can understand that, but your kid that you're supposed to be supervising is not on YouTube Kids. Unless you're one of those parents that lets their 7-year-old play rated M games and makes them watch, Game of Thrones with you. So
Instead of being an actual parent.
yes, so I think it's not only the parents' fault, and I will be blaming the parents because you should be supervising what your kids watch, especially if you and YouTube knows it can do this. It can make the parents sign up for YouTube Kids for only their children to watch. Same thing with Netflix. You can do Netflix for kids. So I think doing that is. I can understand where they're coming from about it's misleading kids, it's not right for kids, the tone of it. But you already know that YouTube, that PewDiePie is not meant for kids. You've known that for the start, ever since the controversy, quote unquote, controversy.
I just don't necessarily agree with the child safety thing because afterwards, when they got taken down, PewDiePie, he said that he actually, when in the making of the video, he didn't actually swear in front of the kids. Like,
That's what I figured. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like,
So the one scene, right, where like he's in like a classroom and he's like in front of a board and he's talking to like a group of kids who are sitting down in front of him. He said that with that they did that 2 separate times, and when he was doing it in front of the kids, he would like censor the swears, or he kind of just would mimic the word. So he didn't actually technically he didn't swear in front of them.
'cause I
So-
noticed that he wouldn't swear when the kids were in the shot.
Yeah, exactly. And notice like it wasn't like one take it like it would cut back between his camera and then the kid's camera.
'Cause,
So
like,
obviously
every
I think
time
anyone
he-
with a brain that could realize that was done in 2 takes. So.
Every time he swore, it would like cut the cameras to him, and then he swore, and then cut again. So
That's probably what
that-
the editing.
That's
talking
what
about.
I figured, because he probably like in my mind he was like he wouldn't actually do that.
Yeah, and especially with COVID still, I mean, like he wouldn't like. I mean, like if he were filming with someone she probably was like the back of the camera kind of person, but like make sure everyone's COVID safe. But I don't think he did it in like he did it with the kids himself. Sure, he asked the kids obviously to be in the video, blah blah blah, but like they knew what was happening. Obviously, those kids were aware of what was happening, and like I said, there's no way in hell that PewDiePie doesn't restrict his videos. I love him, but like he kind of has to.
Yeah.
His videos don't show up on YouTube Kids; they show up on regular YouTube. So what YouTube did is wrong. They don't like PewDiePie. They never liked him from the start. Ever since
They did. They stopped liking him
once he accidentally said the N-word. Ever since that, he started the decline. He lost YouTube's the show. He lost the Disney. He lost every single thing. Not everything, but like he's basically not goody friends with YouTube at this point. So this is kind of like them saying like, we're still in control of you. You can't do a lot of this stuff, and it's.
Yeah, and I personally, I just don't think the video should have been taken down. I mean, I guess I can understand where YouTube is coming from, but do you remember back in the day where like you'd have like a movie where kids were in it and they would swear, like you had like The Sandlot. I think they said like ass or something a few times,
they
or
have
like
kids swearing too.
Yeah, and as kids, for us, that was so cool. Like, oh shit, they're saying the adult words. Like, realistically, it's not putting any child in danger if a child hears a swear word in front of them. Well, as if they don't hear that from their parents every single day.
like,
The word fuck, shit. Okay, come on, listen.
I don't think
Some parents.
A
not
lot of
all.
parents.
I know my parents
Realistically,
tried
a lot
to-
of parents.
I know
Italian parents were very loud, could get very angry at times.
Yeah, but then they would swear in Italian, and I wouldn't know what the hell they were saying.
Well, you see, my mom and dad don't know Italian, so
Well,
or my
that
aunt
sucks
said, so
for
they would
you,
just.
but
And again, I'm
I
not
don't-
trying to come at my parents. I think it's normal for
No, he
sometimes
is.
for parents to swear in front of their kids. I think sometimes
I
it
mean,
just
my-
happens. I'm not saying it's okay, but
It
I think
happens,
it just
but, like,
happens.
I don't
Sometimes.
think they
My
do
dad would always try to say sugar, honey, iced tea. For
Like,
shit.
oh shoot, no, Mom, you know what you would say? Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
That's a funny saying. I love saying
That's such an Italian thing to say to just
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
like
That's what Nick Avocado says
like
a lot too.
affandingula. What are you doing?
I kind of knocked it a little bit. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So I
You
don't
are
think
unforgiven.
I don't think it was right for YouTube to do that. Obviously, I guess it makes it kind of I understand where they were. The YouTube was thinking about it. We're like, okay, he's doing this because they're kids in the video, but they didn't really think about it. They didn't think about, was his video age restricted? Did he do that himself? Were the kids not on YouTube Kids? Were they on YouTube regular?
If it was age restricted, they shouldn't have taken it down.
I
there's-
agree.
Which it probably
it's
was.
they're
most
he's
likely
swearing.
was.
He had to have
So-
done it. So they were obviously if they were not signed in on YouTube and it said this video is age restricted, do you want to continue? Yes, they actually clicked yes.
Yeah.
So
Whatever. I just think YouTube's getting soft.
or
I just don't think-
kids didn't
it's-
even watch it, and YouTube says like, oh, kids are definitely watching it because maybe no kids even
They're just-
saw the video.
Back in 2012, you could literally joke about rape on YouTube and nothing would happen to you. But
They're
nowadays,
just getting
if you,
more elaborate with their rules.
It's because no one can it's not no one can take a joke, but like I understand like people, like you really if you get offensive about it, I understand about okay, that's fine. You don't get the sense of humor, that's okay. At the end of the day, it's not hurting you. It's not like it's not destroying your child's empathy on the world.
Yeah, literally.
I mean, unless the kid is like 12 or 13, and that's
And
I
if
guess
you
it's
do
the
think
past.
that, you need to be more of a parent and control what your child
Like I
is
said- like
watching.
I said, YouTube
you
Kids.
can't just put an iPad in front of a 5-year-old for like 8 hours a day and expect that he's going to grow up to be a good kid. No, you need to be a parent and be involved.
The first thing is don't get your kid an iPad.
You'd be surprised what some parents do.
Oh, you'd be surprised. Kids will have iPhones by the age
I
of
know,
7.
but like, just don't get your kid an iPad.
I agree.
Try every other thing.
And
First.
okay, let it be your iPad. Let them use it to watch videos and stuff, but don't give them their own personal
Yeah,
iPad.
You know what we had?
exactly.
We had DSs. We had Game Boys.
Yeah,
we
get
had
a-
3DSs.
I had a GameCube. I had
Yeah,
a
Flip
the
Note.
Wii.
Get him-
Bro,
get-
Flip Note was goated.
Get him a Switch
No, the
Lite.
chat rooms and DS.
If you're gonna give him something, at least give him like a game, not like a thing.
Yeah,
like,
like, isn't it that? Don't they still have that Leapfrog share? Or
Oh,
whatever?
my leapfrog! I remember. You just unlocked a memory.
Bro.
Leapfrog. Oh my!
I
I
I
don't think I've had one, but I remember the
I had
commercials.
one. They were pretty. It was pretty good.
Oh my goodness!
just iPad last resort. Because there's
When they're
other.
about maybe 11, 12.
Huh?
Get 'em one.
Yeah, at least that's fair.
Yeah,
Because like
at middle school, because make sure they get home.
I got an
and stuff like that.
iPod at like 11, so like.
I mean,
like,
that's cool.
So-
I got my first laptop, my personal laptop when I was 11. So I think 11, 12
Do
is
you know
like
when
the
my
good-
No,
first-
I did too. I did too.
My
so-
first flip phone, 11 years old. I had a flip
Oh,
phone.
no, I'm not gonna talk about. The only reason I got a flip phone so early is because I got lost.
Wait, how old are you when you got yours?
I was like 6.
You had a flip phone.
Well,
I got
well,
mine at
it wasn't-
9. I thought I was early.
No, because the only it had like 4, like
Wait.
1, 2, 3, 4, and then the
Are you talking about the phone from Darren Wimpy Kid where it's like the lady frog thing or like
Basically.
911?
I had an actual
but
phone
it was
at 9.
but it was actually like green.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
what
bro,
the
that
hell?
shit's
But
so
then I
funny.
got like an actual flip phone like a few years later. So
I start off with a real flip phone.
but
Yeah.
it was just like if in case I got lost again. So
Yeah.
But like I think that was middle school, and then I got like I remember Virgin Mobile was my second phone. It was like the it was like the slide up keyboard touchscreen, and then I got the iPhone.
that's
cool. Those were
Sidekick.
cool.
right.
It was it was touchscreen, and then you would slide it up. And
Yeah,
the
that's
keyboard
a
would be right
Sidekick.
there.
That's pretty.
Those,
Those
oh,
were
I
cool.
love. Oh my god, I loved that.
Mine would flip open horizontally as well, except it actually had a keypad. It wasn't
I
touchscreen.
know
It was
what-
a Verizon. I forget.
I
what
know,
it was.
I know what kind of phone you're talking about.
I had that. That was a cool phone. I had that for about 2 years.
Yeah, I had a Froggy phone with 4 numbers.
Oh my god, that
And
shit's
then-
mad funny. This reminds me of Darren.
It had 2 antennas.
It was
That's
one.
Darren. That's literally the thing. But Darren Wimpy Kid.
Wait, what was it like? 1, 2, 3, cow.
The cow goes moo.
It had like 9/11 in the middle. 9/11. Sorry.
Yeah,
Man said.
I'm
sorry.
9/11
Okay.
in the. Oh my. I mean.
I did.
We
that
know
was
what
a
you're talking
mistake.
about. We
That
know
was
what
a
you're
mistake.
talking
I'm
Nuclear
sorry.
take. A lot of Americans make fun of that. Like we make fun of everything.
Yeah.
So
Like,
I
we
meant to
understand
say
what you're
9/11.
talking
it's
about.
okay. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure everyone knew what you were talking about, but
Yeah.
we had to take it a step further. So I'm sorry.
All right. I think it's time we start our movie bracket.
All right, so insert the music. Dun, 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 dun. And as always,
Spoilers.
spoiler for you idiots out there. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
So we are going to be doing the two matchups. We're going to be doing Interstellar versus Lord of the Rings: Fellowship of the Ring, and then we're going to be doing where is it? Parasite versus Whiplash. So we'll start off with we'll do Interstellar and Fellowship because you recently watched Fellowship of the Ring
Yes.
with me.
So
Okay,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say really quick. The day I watched Interstellar, for some reason I wasn't in the best
Yes,
mood,
I
so
w-
I didn't pay full attention to Interstellar, and I wasn't a huge fan of the movie. But I think if you explain it when you
Yeah,
talk
so-
about it,
so-
I'll probably remember.
So basically, Interstellar. If you've never seen it, spoilers. So it's a Christopher Nolan movie. A phenomenal movie in my opinion. This movie, I'll just do like a little backstory. But like this is I went to go see this with my mom in the theaters, and then I was not the only Christopher Nolan movies I knew were Batman movies. That's it. I was 14 years old. I knew what I wanted to be. I was not into movies.
wanted to be Batman.
The hell yeah, I was.
Batman G7.
I took up a mantle. So I knew what I wanted to do with movies and stuff like that. But this movie was the first movie that I sit back and I was like, wow, at 14 years old, because this is the first movie that ever, like, and I'm not shitting you, I made it. Felt like my heart was in my stomach, like those kind of movies. Like this is the movie that really put me on the path. I watched all Christopher Nolan movies after this, The Prestige, Inception. I watched all of them. I watched Shawshank Redemption. I watched every single movie. This movie. So this is why this movie is more close to my heart, because this is the movie that put me on the path of really where I am with movies. This is why I've seen so many movies. It's so great. The dynamic with Murph and Cooper, Matthew McConaughey, and I don't know the actress's name, where he has to go up in space because the world is ending because there is no sustainable crops. There is a lot of dust winds. They're losing corn. So they have to go up into space and find a new home. So
You're talking about Jessica Chastain?
well, that's the older daughter. That's when she's older.
Oh, Mackenzie Foy.
Yes, the little one. Yeah. So yes. So and especially the scene where it's like 30 minutes, 40 minutes into the movie where he has to leave. This movie is so emotional too. Like
Of course, Michael Caine's in this movie.
he's in every single
Of
Christopher Nolan
course,
movie.
of course he's in this movie. I forgot all about that.
Oh my god! So like,
I love Michael Caine,
This
though.
movie is so great. The visuals are astonishing because he used. I mean, obviously, when it's in space, he used like black screen, green screen, but every single visual with the spacecraft, the Endurance, it's all a little prop. That's like what Star Wars originally did. That's all in it.
Star Wars was a painting.
Yeah. So So and then obviously when they went to the world and stuff like that, they made it a little bit bigger. But like the scenes like that made like me like in the movie, like my heart kept pounding, like the wave scene where like it just like that ticking is like that, and then it's just the wave scene, and then when he has to dock. And he goes, "What are you doing docking?" And the thing is still spinning. He has to attach it. Mm-hmm. And then when he's fighting Matt Damon on the Winter Planet, it's going back and forth from Jessica Chastain and on Earth. And it's just going back and forth. And then the ending. A lot of people are like, the ending. But like, I understand what the message was, and I think it's really cool because basically, spoiler alert, that dimension is in the black hole, which, by the way, is what a real black hole looks like, because recently in 2019, I think NASA took a photo of a black hole. Yep. And this is why I love the movie, because people are like, oh, it's not scientifically accurate. Bro, the black hole from the movie in 2014 looks exactly like a black hole they took of it.
Christopher Nolan actually created a black
hole.
So yeah,
and then like, it's just so great. Like, especially when he comes, when they go onto the wave planet, and then they were like, every minute is
7 years.
7 years on Earth. Every hour. Every hour is 7 years on Earth and something like that. So, but then they go back and
no, I think it's every minute.
No, every hour.
Every hour. So but then they go back up, and their calculations weren't as correct as they were. And Homeboy was there for 23 years waiting for them. Mm-hmm. And then Matthew McConaughey sees all these messages from his kids growing up, and then like his son was like, "I'm gonna have to leave you, Dad. Like I realized that you're not coming back." And then Jessica Chastain pops up, like he's like, "Oh, I'm the same age you were when you told me that you would be home." Mm-hmm. So I'm like, bruh. And then he comes back, and she's like, old basically, and she basically is about to die. So it's such a great movie. It's so emotional. It's one of my top favorite Christopher Nolan movies, my top favorite movies of all time. It's so great. It's so impactful, and that's my take on Interstellar.
Yeah, mine will be quick because, again, I don't remember much about the movie because I don't know what... I'll have to watch the movie again because...
Yeah, we'll have to. But.
It really was a good movie. The cinematography of it was absolutely so amazing. Like, I do remember that wave scene. I was like, okay,
that's I remember you were on your phone and you were like...
Yeah, I was like, hold up. That's cool. That was really cool. It was very sad at times, like with the son saying, "Hey, I'm the age I am."
The daughter, yeah.
Daughter, my bad. Where you said you'd be coming back, but you're not here, so... It did get pretty emotional at times, and I thought it was really cool with the book scene where he's trying to contact his daughter, where he's behind the book in like this whole parallel universe. That was really cool. He's like floating and stuff. And then the ending. How does it end again? He wakes up in a hospital.
So he wakes up in a hospital. So he leaves. So when the fifth dimensional beings close the thing on him so in the movie he's doing the bookcase.
Yep.
And he's trying to contact to his daughter. He's like, "Oh, help me, just stay with me, stay." And then he realizes that she is the hope to save humanity. So what he does is Morse code on the watch.
That's right.
And
that's
then
what he does.
she makes the equation of can we sustain gravity is time, gravity equals time, so that they can make the little twisty turny thing, the spaceship, which is actually scientifically accurate. If you were to go in space and the thing keeps spinning, you would stay. You would stay still. You wouldn't be moving. And then he gets dropped off where the wormhole was at the beginning of the movie, and near Saturn. And the spaceship is moving, and then they see him. They see a body floating out, so they pick him up. They bring him here. He realizes he's on Cooper Station, and then his daughter comes to see him before she dies.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, yeah. I thought it was a pretty nice ending.
It really is, because then he realizes that like he needs to go see Anne Hathaway, who found the actual the planet that they're traveling to live. It's phenomenal.
So for what it was, I think it was a pretty cool movie. Miguel.
That's all you gotta say.
Yeah, again,
he needs to watch it again. Yeah,
I thought it was cool. Mind blowing, because like the guy leaves when he's like what 40 something, and then he's still 40 something when he comes back.
Well, technically he's like 120 years old.
Well,
yeah.
He hasn't experienced 120 years.
Yeah, obviously,
but
kind of like Bilbo Baggins.
Oh, Bilbo.
I think my favorite scene so far, I honestly don't know.
You don't know?
No, because no, I really don't. But I thought it was a cool movie anyways, because
you're just so.
Are you? It's so. He has
No,
so many scenes that he loves.
I'm trying to think, because I remember the movie.
Yeah.
it's just
Do you just have too many scenes to choose from, or you just don't know?
because you already spoke about the plot of the movie.
Well, just explain what you liked, though.
What I liked was the cinematography,
Of course.
the story, the colors.
Of course.
Of course.
You know, like the acting, like Matt Damon, and how like he tricked people to come and save him. And
Yes, that was kind of
that kind of like got me because like he's like, oh yeah, it's just icy, but at the bottom it's breathable and stuff. And, like,
Yeah.
Like that
He's like,
that
"Bitch."
betrayal, and then I think the part that hit me most was like when he came back and it was like 20 years. And stuff like that. So that's all I gotta say. It was a good movie.
We need to get that on a T-shirt. The colors of just Miguel's face and just says the colors.
dash.
We need to get that on a T-shirt.
But,
All right.
I think that's all I got.
That's fair. That's
All
fair.
right. Well, we'll definitely rewatch it.
Yeah.
One day. But so the next movie is Lord of the Rings. The first one is 2 hours and 58 minutes. I remember I showed Miguel this 2 years ago. I made him watch the extended edition, 3 hours and 42 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
That's an.
He didn't make you do the same thing.
No.
He loves me more. What can I say? I'm the favorite.
Honestly, no, because I would have brought the Blu-ray, but every time we put a movie in his PlayStation, the TV just cuts out the audio when it's silent.
Yeah, so we had to go to
buy
Apple TV.
I had to buy like rent it. So, and honestly, rewatching the actual 3 hour movie, I'm like, what the fuck did they add almost an hour of footage, and I don't even remember, but. I love Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is
scanned, bro. 4 days of my life.
Yo, the last movie is the extent is 4 hours and 20 minutes. We took 2 days to do that one.
Holy shit.
It's so big that you had to put 2 discs in.
Jesus Christ.
But no, it's such a cool fantasy movie. Even for 2001, I was rewatching it yesterday with you for like the first time in a little bit, and I was like, the CGI a little weird, but that's okay.
At its time, it wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad, but I do love. I think fantasy movies are cool.
Is that the movie where it was filmed in New Zealand? Or
Yes.
All of them are most of them.
So is that the one where spoiler they like on the snowy mountain, or is that another?
Yeah,
one?
that was the
So
first
this is
one.
the movie where
and then
he gets,
Saruman like tries to cause an avalanche on them.
So
Yeah,
this
okay.
movie is when they get the ring. When he gets the ring, he has to travel when he has to go to the Elvish Kingdom to find out what the writing is, and then he goes on the journey. Gandalf goes, "You shall not pass."
Oh, that is it is
Wait. You don't want to spoil it.
no is it Tyler Perry's daughter?
What?
That's not that movie.
No.
What movie are you talking about?
That's definitely not this movie.
The daughter of the rock star. What's her name?
Steven Tyler.
Steven Tyler, I think. Hold on.
Oh, is that? Oh, yeah, that is his daughter. Yes, she is the Yes, she is the Elvish girl. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's
okay.
bad.
That's cool.
And we're keeping this in, Caitlin. We're keeping this in.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways, I love fantasy movies. If you were to ask me, the only thing that obviously they are long.
Yes.
Like watching them.
Especially if it's based off a book.
Yeah, but like watching them like again. I think the first time I ever watched them, I didn't feel like a 3 hour movie, but it felt long. And rewatching them again, I go, oh yeah, kick my time. I'm like, yeah, it's a bit long.
Yeah.
But that's the only downside of it. I'm like, there are a lot of cool shots. I do love how they make. I remember how they did them because I watched a behind the scenes footage, but like how they made the Hobbit small. But they made Gandalf, like the same room. But I remember how I just gotta watch the behind the scenes footage. But I think it's
an illusion.
Yeah. It's tricky with the camera. I do know that, but I think the fantasy movies are really cool. I think this is like the start of what fantasy movies became, especially how they made Game of Thrones into what it is. So
yeah,
I think it's cool.
I will agree. I will say, so you showed it to me for the first time yesterday. It did not feel like a 3 hour movie. It was a very engaging and a very good movie, to say the least. And now I'm a person who's not a huge fan of fantasy, like wizards and stuff like that. I mean, I do think it's cool.
Nah,
I've come
you
to like
play
it a
Wizard
little bit more.
101.
I was a huge I'm not a huge fan of that stuff. I think it's cool. I've come to like it a little more as I've gotten older, but I'm more into like
Batman.
Yeah, bad. But like when I mean fantasy, I mean like wizards and Lord of the Rings, stuff like that. But I will say that was a very, very fun movie. I will say for the 2001, the CGI wasn't that bad. I mean, you can tell where it's like, okay, you can tell that's computer animated and stuff. But at the time, that was it would be pretty cool. I can imagine being the first person to see that in movie theaters at 2001. That'd be a really cool experience. And I will say, for a fantasy movie, I thought it was very easy to follow. It wasn't confusing at all. Because I know like with a lot of fantasy stuff, I can imagine with like, maybe a little bit of Harry Potter stuff. Sometimes if you like look away for 1 minute, you'll be completely confused as to what the hell's going on. I will say the movie flowed very well. The characters were really cool. And here's another thing I liked about the movie, which you kind of told me about this too. I like the names of this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like I like the Mountain of Doom, Sauron,
Mordor.
Bilbo Baggins, Frodo. I just thought the Middle Earth names I thought were pretty cool. Fighting scenes were pretty intense. When the 9 go out on the journey to Mount Doom to destroy the ring that was made by Sauron, I thought it was really cool how like they go through all these different biomes, I guess you could say. They go to like a foresty area, then like a mountainy area, then they go to like the lake area.
I will say that you can watching them again, especially in 2021, like you can 20 years, Jesus, like you can tell where the cuts are, the fights.
Yeah,
so, like, I'm like, could have been done.
That's nothing to. I wouldn't say that's a criticism, but like you could be like, yeah, that's kind of noticeable.
Yeah.
But again, we're no professionals, obviously. Who are we to say anything?
One day we will be.
Yeah, I thought the cinematography was amazing. I never realized just how beautiful of a country New Zealand is.
I would love to go there
with like
one
some
day.
of like the mountainy scenes. I was like, whoa, like we need to go there on a vacation, boys.
All right, boys, let's go.
Hell yeah, let's go to Elf. What the hell was the Elf place called?
What are you just about to say?
I was about to say Elfland. What's it called again?
Rivendell.
Yeah, let's go to Rivendell. Yeah.
Elfland.
My bad.
$75 a ticket.
I don't remember all the names, but
Yeah.
and I will say I do like how like the hierarchy of like wizards and stuff work, where it's like you have the Lord, the Emperor, Sauron, who created the ring,
Oh, yeah,
and
Lord
he was
Sauron.
the ring that to rule over them all. When like all the other lords and kings made their rings, he was like the one that made the one that was supposed to rule them all.
Yep.
Then you have Saruman, who's kind of like the number one wizard,
Count Dooku.
who's like kind of like basically kind of above Gandalf, but like I guess like they could kind of hold their own against each other. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool with how like the hierarchy, I guess you could say, if it worked. Yeah, a really great movie. I really enjoyed working on it. I really enjoyed watching it. Yeah, I worked on it.
Were you a
I'm the director. Yeah. No, I'm too tall for a hobbit. Miguel.
So unfortunately, I was forced to sit.
What's
through
the extended edition? I don't remember what was in the extended edition, to be honest. But
I don't remember either. I just know hobbits, ring, and then elves.
magic.
Don't forget Dumbledore.
You shall not pass.
So
Oh yeah, that was a really cool scene.
Yeah.
No, I enjoyed Lord of the Rings, even though I was forced to sit through it, because like I like the scenes, the cinematography, the mountains,
The colors.
the colors.
Yeah, the colors.
It was mostly green and white.
Yeah.
But like how elves and like dwarves,
Goblins, orcs,
like
orcs.
bless you.
God bless you.
Didn't like each other, and then they had to come together to like fuck up Sauron.
I think you're going into the other movies, but that's okay.
Oh,
That's okay. One, we will.
I actually
I'm
do want to watch the other movies.
Yes, one day we will. I'll watch it.
Yeah,
Make
you
it.
better make him watch the extended edition.
I don't want to do that to Nicky.
No, you did it to me. You did it to me.
And you owe him money, bro. You know I'm not like him.
20 minutes, Nicky.
Oh god, 420. Let's go.
That's all I gotta say. 'Cause
Alright.
I don't really got anything else.
Oh, also one thing I forgot to add. I do like the message that he gives, that Gandalf gives to
Gandalf,
Frodo, where it's like, we're not. I forget how he words it, but he basically says
I know
like
what
we're not in control of our lives. Whatever happens to us, we just gotta live with it. You live life. You weren't chosen. You didn't want this to happen to you, but you just got to deal with it. Because
How
life
did-
will throw things at
How did
you.
he find the ring again? Wasn't it
So-
So
the
Bilbo-
river?
Bilbo
what
found
happened
it-
was, actually, let me test my knowledge. Let me explain it. So basically, after the war with the king of Gondor against Lord Sauron, the
remember
ring
his
got
name?
lost for thousands of years. It began with an I. It's like Islandor. Isildur. I was close. The ring gets lost for about 2,000 years. That's when Gollum finds it, and then eventually he loses it, and then he like drops it, he loses it, and then that's when Bilbo Baggins discovers it, and he holds on to it for about 60 years until he gives it to Frodo because he decides to leave his hometown Shire, because he kind of because of the ring. He wasn't
Prolongs his
really growing
life,
old.
prolongs
It
his
prolongs his life. And
111.
He was 111 years old when he left Shire, and he wanted to leave and actually let old age get to him and finish his book. So that's why he left Shire. So he gave the ring to Frodo. And then that's when Gandalf and him find out that Lord Sauron has never been dead. His spirit's still there, and he's coming for the
his
ring.
eye.
That's when he tells
So-
him to leave.
So how come they never came for what's his name?
Bilbo.
Bilbo.
Because he wasn't in possession of the ring.
No. I know what he's talking about. So,
Oh, I mean, like when he
in
had
the
it whole
movie,
time.
also, so this is why they made the movies and the book, The Hobbit. Make sure I turn it off by accident. They basically in The Hobbit, he finds the ring, and then but at this time Sauron is growing. There's a dark shadow
So he wasn't like alive yet.
No, he was kind of like, you know, he's ranking up at this time. He's getting up in class, and then by the end of the third Hobbit movie, he's basically in full form. And then over the 60 years, he's been growing in numbers, getting his army ready.
Oh, okay.
And then so hence the other 8 hours of fucking movies. I'm gonna go with Interstellar because I love Christopher Nolan.
Lord of the Rings.
I'm gonna go with Interstellar.
That's fair.
It's so hard.
Listen,
It's so
I kind
hard.
of figured that was gonna win, so that means I gotta watch it again now.
Yeah, Interstellar. Christopher Nolan, man.
Yeah. Listen, I don't blame you on the slice. That was a cool movie, so I'm not mad at all.
So next, so Interstellar will be going up against whatever wins Once Upon a Time in Hollywood versus 1917.
Oh,
That's a tough. Watch, I haven't seen one of those, but
so tough.
So anyways, Parasite versus Whiplash. So I showed you guys Parasite.
Let me talk about this.
Oh no. So wait,
No.
Whiplash?
Yeah.
Oh yes. Well, I want to do Parasite first because that's first. So well,
yeah,
no,
because it goes
Okay,
Parasite,
fine,
Whiplash.
fine.
So Parasite, I showed you guys for the first time. It won Best Picture last year against against a lot of movies, and I was not upset that it won, but I was like, oh damn, 1972 was really good, but I didn't see Parasite, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch it. Boy, my God! Like,
Let me just say, it is not what you think it's about.
Exactly. I thought it was a horror movie.
Me too.
It's labeled, but it's comedy and shit. It's
Okay, there are a few parts that could be labeled as horror. We'll get into that in a minute.
It's like not every genre, but it's like
like
so
thriller.
much more. So like spoilers. If you have not watched Parasite, I would highly, highly, highly recommend the movie. It is a great South Korean movie. It is well done. Bong Joon, I don't remember his name, but he's made other movies that are great that everyone should watch. But Parasite,
Director's name is
Bong Joon-ho or something like that. He made Snowpiercer with
Bong Joon-ho.
He made it with Snowpiercer with Chris Evans, which is actually a really good movie too. But so Parasite, it's not what you think. So basically, this very poor family infiltrates living with trying to live with these rich people, and one by one they bring the family members in.
Yeah.
And then when the family goes on vacation, they're like, all right, this is our house for the time being, and then at the 40-minute mark, if you already the movie exactly like what you said when we were watching the movie, it felt like it was gonna end, and then the original house lady that they got kicked out was like, help me, and then I was like, huh, is she gonna kill him? And then she's at the basement like doing this with the freaking like the secret the wine glass shelf thing.
Shelf.
And then the mom helps her, and it just opens up a door, and I literally my jaw at the 45-minute mark, I'm like,
And then literally when it shows the scene where they're like walking in the hallway of like that basement area, I was like, okay, there's no way this isn't a horror movie now.
You know how I know that was a good scene? Because when I was watching with them, Miguel just sits up. He sits up.
This kid's afraid of horror movies. You think he'd sit back? And then I said to him, I go, okay, Gian, you're 100% sure this is not a horror movie, and you're like, nope, it's not. So
And then you see that the house lady had her husband in there for years while she was working, getting him food and stuff, and then they fight, and then the parents come home, and that's really intense, and then the birthday party happens. The one I remember watching with you guys, the one creepy scene that still creeps me out is when the kid is having the birthday party.
I'm gonna put an image.
The birthday cake, and just. It's taught because they actually reference this in the beginning of the movie, like he saw a ghost and something like that. It traumatized him, and she's telling the sister the story, the mom of the house, how the little boy was traumatized, how he saw a quote unquote ghost, and it was actually the husband who was living in the basement. And you just see it's just silence, and you just see him slowly come up, and just his eyes. It is the most frightening image in cinema.
I'm putting an image of it right here. So if you're
listening, just
to this,
imagine it.
So basically, it's like the kid's sitting in front of the refrigerator late at night. He's eating a piece of cake, and the house is completely dark. All of a sudden, you see him look over to the side, and he sees from a dark stairway. You see these eyes just pop up.
That's just nightmare.
And I'm not gonna lie, horror movies usually never creep me out. That shit made me extremely uncomfortable.
That is terrifying.
I can see why that kid had his eyes roll in the back of his head, and that kid was traumatized for life. That's shit you can't ever forget.
The cinematography is amazing. The acting is amazing. The ending where like the dude gets up from the thing, he just drops the rock. I thought the kid was dead, but he drops the rock on him, and he does it a second time.
Yeah.
And then the ending where like the dad just had enough because it's a metaphor basically how the rich are always over the poor, and how like the dad was always like the sniffing, and then when he's trying to get the keys, he's telling the Mr. Kim to which I love the fact that they gave them English names so that the audience can remember.
Those aren't English.
Those aren't English names. Kim is a very common Korean name.
Kevin.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So literally they gave.
That's
they,
right. I heard about that. Kevin.
They had Korean's name, and they notice how they gave them sort of English, easier to remember.
Right,
names.
because the son of the poor family was teaching the daughter of the rich family English, to help her with her English.
Because I'm about to mind blow you. Just notice how you remember the poor people's names, but you don't really remember the rich people's names.
I'm gonna be honest, I forget some of the poor people's names too.
Well, like Mr.
I'm bad with
Mr.
names.
Kim, Kevin, like they're very more memorable. So like
Yeah.
the metaphor is the rich are always over the poor, and like at the end we're like it's a bloodbath, and the dad was like telling Mr. Kim, the driver, like throw me the keys, while Mr. Kim is tending to his wounded daughter, and like the rich guy does not care, and then he goes for the body, what has the keys, and he still smells that like poor like non.
Yeah, and he like covers his nose,
and then like Mr. Kim just had enough. He was like,
and he
stabs him.
He stabs the father.
The ending is sad too because the kid after having a traumatizing head wound was like, one day I'll see you. And then like it shows what could happen when he buys the house one day.
And you
with
think
his
it's
mom.
gonna end there.
And you think it is, but then he's like, maybe that'll be one day.
No,
And
he
then
says until then.
Until then, it just ends, and you're like,
Yeah, I was like, so with Parasite, you think it's gonna end like 4 different times. First, it's like when they escape the house, when they escape the house, because when the parents come home from the vacation, only the mom, who was the maid, was supposed to be there.
Yep.
So they actually had to like sneak out of the house and then go home in the pouring rain while there was a flood happening. I thought that's how the movie was gonna end. And then I thought it was going to end again with the bloodbath when like the dad kills the father and there's like an entire bloodbath, because basically what happened is the husband who lived in the basement, he comes up, he escapes, and he ties. Well, no, he doesn't tie. He knocks out the kid with the rock.
Notice how
and then
the rock.
he takes the knife and then he stabs the sister,
The
daughter, sister basically. And one thing you got to keep in mind, that the rich family did not know that these people were a family, because they basically kind of snuck each other in. Because what happened was, first the son got a job as the English tutor for the rich daughter, and then he suggested for like
he knew someone
that was a babysitter for her son, which was his sister, and then she recommended the father as the limo driver because she gets the limo driver fired because she frames him, and then the limo driver suggests a maid service for like the new maid because basically the maid was allergic to peaches, and they kind of made her sneeze and cough up blood and make her think that she had tuberculosis, and then that's how they get the mom in the movie. So they kind of sneak each other in. It's honestly, it's a fucking genius.
It's so original.
It's so original. It is genius the way they do that. Yeah. So the rich family has no idea that these people are actually related. The only person who had kind of an idea was the son, because he said they all smelled the same, which was like kind of like, I mean, it's not much, but he kind of had an idea like, hey, he smells like her and stuff like that. So very original idea, very cool movie. The metaphor of it was amazing too. It's not like something that hasn't been done before about how the rich are above the poor, but it's just the way they do it is original and very unique. And again, this was not what I was expecting when I first heard the movie Parasite at all. First, I thought it was going to be about like a play that happens in South Korea. Because you got to keep in mind that when this movie won Oscars, this was right when we were starting to hear about COVID, and this was right before we went into lockdown. So I thought, oh shit, is this like COVID the movie or something? So I thought it was about a parasite. Then when I found out it wasn't about that, I thought it was a horror movie. And some parts, like that scene you talk about,
imagery.
Some of the imagery is horror, you cannot deny. And then the ending scene with the bloodbath was pretty horrific. And then the ending where he says, "Until one day, Dad, I'll see you then." It was a really sad but very powerful ending, where it's just, the father kind of said he knows where he belongs after he killed them. He goes down into the basement and he starts living there for years, basically. Yes. And he communicates with his son via Morse code with the light switch that the son sees on top of a hill. There's a lot to unpack in this movie. I suggest watching it, hands down.
It's on Hulu too.
Miguel?
So I also thought it was a movie. I first thought it was like
a horror movie.
No, a pandemic movie.
Oh, okay.
Because like when I thought Parasite, because like my first thought was an anime called Parasite, where it's like his hand turns into like
there is an anime called Parasite.
So that's what I thought it was, but like live adaptation, but or like not the same thing, but like something similar.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, it's not. And then it was like, okay, horror movie. No,
I told you no.
And then it on the thing it says comedy
drama.
Yeah, I was like,
excuse me.
It is pretty funny at times too.
So how the fuck do you make Rondon?
It is pretty funny at times. The humor's up there.
So I'm a be straight out and said this movie did not end. Like it felt like 4 hours, bro.
Really?
Yes.
I'm
for
gonna,
me.
I'm gonna be honest. It's not because the movie dragged. I thought it was a great movie, but I felt like watching The Lord of the Rings was shorter than that movie because
really? Wow.
because the way they set up the movie, you think it's gonna end 4 different
Yeah.
times. So that's why when it
So as a-
continues, you're
as
like,
a bad
oh,
thing or like
no, it's not a bad thing. It's just it catches you off guard because you think it's gonna end, but
Okay,
it
all right.
doesn't.
I understand
I
that.
guess that could be. I wouldn't say a criticism because it wasn't necessarily. It didn't stop the flow of the movie, but
It didn't, but I found it annoying because I was
Yeah,
like,
he found it
I just
annoying.
wanted to finish the movie. Like, oh, okay, because like I was like, this won a fucking Oscar.
I mean,
But
I
you
think it
can
deserved
see
it. I think
why,
it
though.
deserved it.
You don't see it until the ending though.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was it flowed very well. I guess in my eyes, that's enough to win an Oscar.
what
I
do
don't
you-
think it should have won against who to win against.
19. I don't think it should have won against.
No, I
1917.
agree there. I don't think it should have
I
won
don't
against
think it
that,
should
but
have won
I do think it should have won
1917.
a Oscar. I'm happy for it.
It
though.
did win like 4.
Yeah.
So,
So
won a lot. It won a
So
few.
I mean, listen, kudos to him. I'm happy for him, the
like
director.
he did win an Oscar for it, but
Yeah.
like it should have not beat 1917.
I mean,
I'm
it's
so
it's just
sorry.
tough because it's totally different movies.
Yeah.
It was nominated against other 10 other movies, but like it was just the originality I love about
Yeah.
it.
I will say the concept of it was genius, as Nicky said. Like sneaking in, like an English teacher sneaks in the art teacher, and then the art teacher sneaks in the new driver, and then the new
maid.
driver sneaks in the maid, and then
And you saw throughout the movie, in between when they were doing that, it would show them at their home practicing lines as to what to say and how to set
so
up.
for them it was like another script.
Exactly.
So
It was really cool.
mhm.
So
Did you like the imagery, the colors?
were the
yeah.
colors of the house and the kids' drawings that were supposed to be schizophrenia, were they nice colors too?
Yeah, totally.
It was pretty funny. So I think the funniest part is like I don't like when the daughter was like I just searched up like art therapy and said some words and she started fucking.
My favorite was when she hangs up the phone. How the fuck do you make rom? No, what the fuck is Ramadan? That was hilarious.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Now, Whiplash.
All right.
Miguel, you can
this
start,
is
you can
this
start.
is my magnum opus.
Okay, go.
So Gian was like, "Oh, this is the movie that started it all." No, when you were talking about Interstellar, you're like, "This is the movie that got me into Christopher Nolan." You just blah 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 blah. Whiplash.
Into drums. Got you into drums.
Wait, did I actually?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I knew
Yeah.
that. I knew that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, 'cause,
I mean,
like-
that's cool, but
Because like at that time I only knew guitar, so I was
Right.
like, so this was I saw it a year after it came out.
2015.
Yeah. So I'm like, fuck it, might as well, because like Whiplash is basically a movie about a jazz drummer who's trying to like get up in the
College,
music
right?
industry.
College or high school?
College.
College?
So he goes to like a fake not fake, but like it's not a real school, but a music school in like New York or like Manhattan. He's
It's called Schaefer, I believe. The school. I think it's
Oh, I
called,
don't
Schaefer.
remember.
yeah.
I think so too, but he's being compared to like all these other like students, and like he doesn't see his worth until Terrence Fletcher or Jonah Jameson.
J. Jonah Jameson.
Parker!
You're fired. Oh, never mind. I need you to come back. You're hired.
So yeah, that character.
Yeah.
Imagine
J.K.
that.
Simmons, a
J.K.
phenomenal.
Simmons, who also won an
He won an Oscar for that performance.
Supportive actor.
I'm so happy.
Hands down. Yeah, I'm so happy.
Phenomenal
too.
actor.
But like, imagine him like J.K. Simmons or whatever
J. Jonah Jameson.
J. Jonah Jameson as a music like professor, like screaming at you like because he wants you to be like as the best as you can be, and that's like the whole plot of the story, like him portrayed as a villain when he's actually like trying to.
From
he's
what
not
I
a villain, but like he's not like
see,
he's
I
not the
see
best
him.
person either.
See, there's a theory. He kind of could be considered a villain because there's a theory about the whole obsessive drummer where he makes Neiman this obsessive drummer who will go through great lengths just to become the best. And the end scene, the reason why they consider that theory a part of the end scene where Neiman goes crazy on the drums, the reason why they consider Terrence Fletcher a villain is because throughout the whole movie, he wanted to find that perfect drummer, the one who he could make him do whatever he wanted to. And at the end scene, they believe that when Neiman goes crazy, Terrence Fletcher goes, "Yes, I have finally found him. He is mine now." That's how some people can see him
By
as
the way,
villainous.
my favorite performance of all time on any drums.
Oh, they're supposed to say in acting in general, just banging on
Well,
drums.
that's one. J.K. Simmons has some of the best.
I don't think Miles actually. Miles Teller, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he actually like played the drums, but he is a drummer though.
Yeah, no,
So-
he did play the drums.
No, but not. you have to have a shit ton of experience to play.
Yeah,
He's a self-taught
I
drummer
think he
for years.
learned. I did think I read like he learned what like the drum, like basically drum classes. Kind of, he went through the motions. He learned how to drum, but I don't think he did that.
I don't
entire
think-
It depends
scene.
like what kind of music he was drumming to, because jazz drumming is very complicated and very complex compared to like rock
I know
or
he's
metal.
a self-taught drummer, but that takes years.
I don't
Yeah.
think anyone I've ever not any drummer, but like no one like that
Yeah.
could do. I mean, maybe, but like that shit's like crazy. But
So if he did do it, then even more of a better movie.
I don't. I just think he did something. He drummed in
definitely-
some scenes, like
in
in the beginning where he's like learning.
Mm-hmm.
I do know that he did
just-
some of that, but not the ending.
I just think like the his hands bleeding, like because he wants to better himself too, and then J.K. Simmons standing there
Yeah.
like telling him
slaps him.
no. He's like give me a song name or something like
Yeah,
that.
he just tests him.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then the next day he's like, "Oh, come with me."
Mm-hmm.
So
Come with me if you want to live.
So, I guess I'll go next because
Oh, we're going
so
counterclockwise.
yeah, we'll go counterclockwise. So,
Counterclockwise.
next to Heath Ledger's Joker, Terrence Fletcher is hands down one of the most intimidating villains, characters, whatever in cinema history, in my opinion. Just imagine J. Jonah Jameson, no mustache, no hair, completely bald, wearing a tight black shirt, and the man is absolutely jacked.
Are you talking about Johnny Sins?
Yeah, basically.
might as well
Might as
be,
well.
bro.
So hands down, one of the most intimidating characters in history. Basically, he is a strict teacher, a strict music teacher
professor.
and professor,
It's the
whatever,
same thing.
who pushes not only just Neiman but the rest of his class to their limits. And there are scenes where they are so intense and so atmospheric. You feel like you're there, and you can tell something is going to happen. Like there'll be one scene where he's walking up to someone and he goes, "Are you out of tune?" And the guy goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Quiet." He goes, "Why the fuck didn't you say so?" Just absolute sheer like screams
and
at
then
him.
he kicks him out.
He
And then
kicks him out?
And it was like, actually, bro, it was you that was out of tune.
he goes, "For the record, Mets wasn't out of tune. You were, Eric." But he didn't know, and that's bad enough. It was shit like that just hands down. I'm so happy that
He won an Oscar.
he won an Oscar because he was just hands down a very intimidating character, and the storyline is just good too because it shows kind of like how Black Swan does about the
you saw Black Swan?
No, but I know what it's about. How it's like
Damn,
a ballerina
damn.
who is obsessed with becoming the best, just like how Andrew Neiman is. He is obsessed with becoming the best drummer.
Those are two. I mean, it's the same movie, but,
But like
don't
the
compare
concept
Black
of that,
Swan.
people have compared.
Let me
Black Swan.
interject real quick. I forgot to say something about J.K. Simmons' character. He actually he's like all friendly and stuff, trying to get information from you to use it later too. Mm-hmm. Cause
Whose mommy left daddy when she figured
Yeah.
out who wasn't Eugene O'Neill, who was now weeping and crying all over my drum set
when he-
like a fucking 9-year-old girl.
when he found out Neiman's mom wasn't in the picture, he used that like a few scenes later. Like
Yeah.
And that's manipulative. That's how you get, because he wanted to get under his skin. He wanted to be basically just have like control of him and like kind of shut him down basically. And even when he was giving Neiman these hopes that he was doing good, he brings in another drummer, the Irish guy with the red hair.
Irish lad.
I forget what his name was in the movie.
I
but-
think he just brought him in just to piss off Neiman.
yeah, just to test him even more. He was pushing his boundaries. So, yeah, basically it shows the mind of an obsessed drummer and with a very insanely crazy and insanely strict teacher who implements and makes him become that obsessed drummer to become the best. He literally breaks up with his girlfriend and says, "I want to be one of the best." And she goes, "And I would stop you from doing that." And he goes, "Yeah." So, phenomenal movie. Hands down, one of my favorite movies of all time. Me and Miguel actually had this thing we would call it Whiplash Day, where
January 16th.
we missed it like 3 years in a row now, but
Yeah.
we've done it like once or twice.
I was in quarantine.
Yeah.
So
But yeah,
We've done it once or twice where we would just sit down and just watch Whiplash.
I first watched it when I would.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Yeah.
Because you go. All right, I'm Kenny. I watched it the first time on. I think I came over your house. Nicky was there on Whiplash Day because I wanted to watch it, and boy was I surprised. Like this movie was. If you want to talk about suspense, this is something that you go for. Like the acting is phenomenal. The way the story goes through, it flows. The way there's a theory that basically J.K. Simmons this movie is basically what a relationship is like, what a very manipulative relationship between a boy and or whatever like it's like, and I can see that very very much. He is very manipulative. I think basically it's not about I think, well, I don't know who said it, but like this is about J.K. Simmons like finding the best. I think this is basically him trying to find his ego. That this is what like my theory. Like he's trying to prove himself. If he can find the best player, this is what I would be if I'm him. If I find the best player, then I'm the best teacher.
I can see that.
That's
Yeah.
basically he's trying to fuel his own ego, which
Because
it's phenomenal.
He talked to Neiman about how one professor, how he found his perfect drummer and how he became like
It's
one of the
phenomenal.
best.
It's the
Basically,
way they do it.
That's what he wanted.
The director is from Rhode Island, Damien Chazelle.
He is?
He made La La Land and he made
That's
First
the
Man.
movie J.K. Simmons is in La La Land. The one I was talking about, I was like, wasn't he in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? And I'm like, and he was like, no, he's in La La Land. I think. My bad.
Is?
I think so. I could be wrong.
saw La La Land. I don't remember him. in it.
I think he's in a quick scene.
Okay. I haven't seen it in a while. But anyways, this movie is phenomenal. It's really, really good. Like I was going to watch and I was like, I'll see it. 8.5 out of 10. And people are saying I'll see it, and I was like, oh my goodness.
And the best part is, it was an indie film. It got like a few million bucks in budget.
It wasn't even released in theaters first. It was through
That's
a
what
music
most.
festival.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
And
Yep.
he actually made a short film of this too before.
Yeah, and then that was kind of like the
this
demo.
what got him obviously La La Land and First Man. But
This is his magnum opus.
the one thing
I hope.
that I don't understand is, even though it's a really cool shot, is when he gets hit by the truck. Now, obviously, his fuel to get to the performance is up there, his adrenaline.
Yeah.
But if you're getting hit by a truck at that speed and only having a few bruises,
I mean, he was very bloody.
No, his arm was bleeding. He had like a.
I know,
thing
but
right
like,
here on his head.
I've never. Maybe that's why it's called whiplash. But like, it's if you were really getting hit by a truck at that speed.
His
that
camera just
camera's
died.
turned
Mine's
off.
probably gonna go next.
That's okay. So if you are getting hit by that truck at that speed, I have some questions. Just a few questions.
I mean,
built
he
different.
just wanted to be the best. He broke up with his girlfriend. He wants to prove.
Which I
Karen
thought
Sweatshirt.
they should have brought her in a little bit more.
Took some
but-
Titan toxin from Arkham Asylum. Just built different.
Oh my God.
So, yeah.
These movies are both great, but I know what you guys are gonna choose. I'm going Parasite because I thought it was more original.
That's fair.
I
I'm
loved
going
it.
Whiplash.
I'm going Whiplash.
The
I'm
original.
sorry.
No, that's fine. It's just the originality of Parasite is beyond anything I've ever seen. So
I agree. I will say Parasite is a great movie. It's just something about J.K. Simmons' performance. Again, we recommend you watching any one of these movies. Just
Nicky,
please watch.
You're gonna love
Whiplash.
this. Whiplash is gonna go up against The Dark Knight. So. So that will be
The two most intimidating villains in cinema history, at least from what I've seen.
So we gotta hurry this up. This is the longest podcast ever. Thank you guys so much for watching.
I have my last words.
Yeah, go ahead.
Shout out to Soleil and Chris Alves.
Okay.
They watch us?
Yeah.
Chris Alves watches? Yo, what's cracking, boys?
Yo, what's cracking, Alvy?
So,
But thank you guys for watching. Everyone's the things are in whatever you want to call them are in
Links.
the description of the video. If you're watching us on Apple or Spotify, share, like, copy and paste to someone's Instagram. I don't know, just share. And we will see you guys on our next heterosexual adventure. Miguel, any last words?
My last words. Whip in.
Lash.
I agree.